What happens if you finally talk to a bankruptcy lawyer? You finally took my advice and you had a free consultation with a bankruptcy lawyer near you because you followed the link in my profile. But what happens when you're talking to a bankruptcy lawyer and they tell you you make too much money to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? What do you do then? Like, what's your next move? As a bankruptcy lawyer, if you are my client, I'm trying to figure out how big your household is. I'm trying to figure out how much money is coming into the house. I'm trying to figure out if you have the right kind of debt to file for bankruptcy. And I'm trying to make sure you don't have anything valuable that we would lose if you qualify for a 7. But if you make too much money to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, we really don't have a lot of options, and I have to start talking to you about a Chapter 13. And you need to know why I'm talking to you about a 13. Because there's several different reasons to file a Chapter 13. Only one of them is because your income is above the limit. But because we're looking at a Chapter 13 for you, because your income is over the limit, there are very specific rules that will apply to you that won't apply to people who are filing a Chapter 13 because they have something too valuable to keep. The set of rules is completely different, and you need to go into a bankruptcy appointment knowing the differences between filing a Chapter 13 because your income's too high for your state's limit versus filing a Chapter 13 because you're trying to save something. At all times, if your household income is above the means, then by definition, you have a completely different set of rules that's going to apply to you in a Chapter 13. So when you are in an appointment with a lawyer and they say to you, I don't think a Chapter 7 is going to work for you, your first question should be, why? Is it because my household income is too high, or do I have something too valuable for my state's limit? Maybe both, but you need to know. And if the lawyer says, well, your income is too high, now you know that the next questions you want to ask are, how long will I be in this? What is the best case and worst case scenario here? Tell me about the philosophy of your trustees and your judges. How difficult is this going to be for me? Do you see any other options available to me? Are you experienced in Chapter 13 bankruptcies? Do you feel comfortable navigating me through this? Do you have a recommendation for somebody else who's better at this than you? Those are some of the important questions to ask, because if you have to go into a Chapter 13, the most important thing we can do is detail your income and your expenses with a fine-tooth comb. The more clarity you have with your each individual expenses, the better off you're going to be in a Chapter 13. Because the way a Chapter 13 works for people whose income is above the limit is all the income that comes into the house is added together on a spreadsheet, and then we line item out every one of your expenses. Your federal taxes, your state taxes, your PERS, your insurance, your mortgage, your car payment, your insurance payment, your food payments, your utilities, your child's daycare costs, whatever it is, we line item those, and we take averages from the last 6 months. And the more accurate you are with your expenses, the more comfortable and realistic your Chapter 13 will be. Because when you say, I can't afford my Chapter 13, it means you didn't catalog your expenses going into it. And these are the things that you will want to know if you are sitting in a lawyer's office and they say to you, you make too much money to file a Chapter 7. Basically, you got to keep asking questions, and you have to understand why the lawyer is saying that to you so that you can advocate for yourself to the next level. That's what we're talking about, yo. Thank you guys for following and liking my content. Thank you for sharing it, and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel.